Before I indulge you in a saga of my personal experiences and revelations that I've come across over the past few years, I have two confessions to make. Firstly, I am not as happy as I should be with my body at this point of time. Secondly, I feel guilty for feeling this way and for wanting to lose that weight. But the fact that most of the girls my age all across feel the same way as I do about their bodies does give me a sense of comfort. Even when I know that this is not the way of life and this is not the way I should be approaching my insecurities. Not by finding respite in others' insecurities. Hence the reason why I'm here today talking to you. The realizations that I just mentioned have been plaguing my mind for a while now, especially since the people around me started making it clear that I am overweight and that I somehow do not fit the societal standards. With the 15 minutes that I have here today, I simply wish to explain why 80% of the girls my age find themselves in front of the mirror, questioning their body image every single day. Before recording this talk, I had a few things running through my mind. Things like, what should I say? Is my talk going to be good enough for everyone? Will people like it, or am I about to get cancelled and have my inbox flooded with hate comments? What percentage of people would actually relate to or refer to what I'm saying? And what percentage would end up judging me based on what I look like and what I'm wearing? I reckon some would say, well, she isn't that fat or that ugly. Why would she even bring up this topic in the first place? While the rest would say, oh my god, did you see that skirt she's wearing? It's so out of style. Ew. But above all this, I've noticed that every time I bring up this issue of hatred or judgment, the most common and annoying response has to be, why do you even care about these so-called critics? Why are you giving them the benefit of doubt? Why don't you just go love yourself? And these, if I'm being brutally honest, self-deprecating thoughts and insecurities stem from wanting to love oneself. The root cause of self-doubt being wanting to be accepted by the society, irrespective of the way one is. I will not tell you that this is all just an illusion created by social media, because it isn't. In fact, the body positivity movement dates back to the 1960s, when black women hit the streets asking to be treated equally and claiming that being fat makes no difference. This was when white women with thin, lean, curvy bodies like Marilyn Monroe was the ideal type. Others had neither representation nor respect. A movement like this was highly necessary back then and is greatly appreciated in today's time, because there still is no respect for allegedly fat men and women. Just imagine being alienated solely because of your size. With the help of social media, this movement has taken a step too far. Just so that we're all on the same page, the body positivity movement is a social movement that focuses on a positive body image and equal representation. So what is toxic body positivity, you may ask? In the simplest of terms, toxic positivity refers to the idea of focusing only on the positive aspects of life while rejecting the negative emotions, which are a part of human nature and tendency. And exactly like that, the body positivity movement is based on the idea that all bodies are beautiful and we must accept them all. Tall or short, obese or thin, huge or small, does not matter. We must accept them all, no questions asked whatsoever. Which in its way is correct, but if say a person is obese or anorexic, it is bound to have direct implications on the kind of lifestyle the person lives. And I think we all can agree when I say that we don't want that for others, let alone for ourselves. Now if it's something that cannot be changed, which is not directly under our control, it's only logical to accept it the way it is, right? But then why are we continuing to accept things the way they are when they're directly under our control? Why are we continuing to validate unhealthy lifestyles? Why can't we just change what can be changed for the sake of our own damn health? And like this, the intent behind body positivity becomes toxic because we continue to put the physical appearance of the body above its health and functionality. Even when we're accepting bodies of all shapes and sizes, we're talking about its positive relationship with its appearance. It's not that what we're trying to achieve is bad, it's just incomplete. Great brands have joined this movement through marketing campaigns, and let's not even talk about the countless Instagram accounts that focus wholly on this subject. The increasing rise in diseases due to weight and body distortion, and the path that every man and woman has to walk in search of self-esteem are just some of the issues that can be put on the table for questioning. Let me give you an example. Both Cosmopolitan magazine and Self magazine featured Tess Holliday, a popular plus-size model, on their covers, which had then become a very controversial move. Please try and understand that I'm not trying to slander Tess in any way. In fact, I really admire her courage. But what I am against is the kind of message she was promoting, because I care about the messages that are put up on social media, which is starting to manipulate people and starting to take indirect control over people's lives. Her message was to love oneself and accept one's own body, and that nobody, including you, should care about what the society sees you as, because it's high time that the society accepts both fat men and women. In an article published in Self magazine, Tess defends herself from the backlash by saying, I quote, "People should mind their own business." But aren't the people that she's asking to mind their own business the same people she was trying to influence into thinking being morbidly obese is okay? It was later revealed that she was suffering from depression, and in a statement she said that, I'm going to try and change my body, but don't worry, I'll still be eating my Cheetos. And this, my fellow audience, is exactly my problem. The movement is supposed to be about self-love, self-acceptance and compassion, but rather it's turned into eating Cheetos as a way to say damn you to beauty standards. Let me walk you through another example to give you a clearer image. An example of a YouTuber known for her abnormally thin body, Eugenia Cooney. Back in 2016, Eugenia said that her body is just kind of like that. There really isn't that much of a reason. Regardless, the internet at large believes that she's sick. In October 2016, a petition entitled Temporarily Ban Eugenia Cooney off of YouTube went viral, receiving 18,000 signatures. Eugenia Cooney has a serious medical condition and needs to seek help, it said. She has been influencing her viewers with her serious underweight condition. However, Cooney does not actively promote or glorify eating disorders and anorexia with her words. It is also important to note that social media cannot just give someone anorexia, right? However, hundreds of young viewers have claimed to have been negatively affected by watching Cooney's channel. Most, if not all of these efforts have now become more feminism-centric, and they're more about getting quote-unquote clout by trying to defy standards. So, does a normal body actually exist? Let me give you a spoiler, kids. It does not. The reason why we're never satisfied with our body, never happy with our body image, is because of the unrealistic standards created by the media. Not everybody possesses a body like Kim Kardashian. Not everyone looks like Chris Hemsworth. Nor does anybody have the money to look like either of them. Moving on, being obese or anorexic is right nor healthy, but that does not mean that we jump to the extreme of losing weight or gaining weight recklessly, or starting to believe that just because someone is slim, they are by default healthy. I believe that today's society should be well aware of men and women suffering from body distortion and body dysmorphic disorder. A disorder in which a person is so preoccupied with a flaw in their body which is something often others cannot see. All these due to social pressure. Thus, while women tend to suffer from anorexia, men tend to suffer from the opposite picture, bigorexia, which makes them feel that their body looks weak, while aspiring to acquire the proper so-called masculine physique. Now coming to self-love and self-acceptance. From what I've seen around me and from what I have experienced and am experiencing at the point of time, is that every time I say that I'm fat or that I need to lose some weight, it's like Thanos waiting to snap. Avengers assemble, they say. It's like I literally have an entire army ready to go to war with me. Not with swords or guns, but with common phrases like, "Girl, you ain't fat. You're beautiful just the way you are." For the love of all that's holy, you say that once again and I will cancel you. Or comment simply the letter F, which is usually used to pay respects if you were wondering. It's a Gen Z lingo that stopped making sense quite a long time back, to be honest. But my point is that I feel pressured into thinking that I'm not fat when I'm clearly overweight. What others want from me outweighs what I want for myself. I want to love myself, but how am I supposed to do that when everybody's trying to stop me from becoming who I truly want to become? This movement isn't just about you and me. It's also about the 2.8 million people who die as a result of obesity and the remaining 10,200 people who die as a result of eating disorders and anorexia. Why don't we try and save some of these lives by spreading the right message when we have the power to do so? Besides these collective efforts, we must stop commenting things like, "You're too fat," "You're too thin," "You went a little overboard with the desserts, huh?" Or "I would not wear that if I were your size." Have to stop. We feel that we're somehow helping them by commenting things like this. But please believe me when I tell you, all we're doing is making things a lot more worse. We should try harder to empathize with people's struggles rather than fuel their insecurities. The society teaches us that there's a direct relationship between our weight and our worth. It took me quite a long time to wrap my head around this concept as myself. But when I did, the sheer hypocrisy and the inaccuracy that revolves around this concept dawned upon me soon after. I believe that the body positivity movement may be more negative than it is positive. While the message is a stellar one of self-love and self-acceptance, I believe that it oversimplifies the act of being positive, especially for those of us who fit between the overweight to obese spectrum. Health-wise, it's dangerous. It's not as simple as learning to embrace your body, but rather it's about learning to love the process. A process in which you learn to love your so-called imperfections and change some of them for the sake of your health. The movement that focuses on body positivity encourages us to settle for mediocrity, all while telling us that wanting to change our bodies is irrelevant to the campaign. A movement like this should be about spreading healthy practices that lead to a healthier and happier life, but rather than now about getting clout. Learning to accept who we are as a person is one thing, but accepting the poor condition of our body is a whole other thing. With this, I want to leave you with a thought that maybe, just maybe, we should consider being more body responsible than being body positive. Don't you think? Thank you.